Bitcoin continues breaking out towards 50,000 US dollars while stocks look the most dump-alicious that they've looked in nearly 19 months. And after Facebook, WhatsApp, and Gangbang suddenly went offline, what in Turkey Town is going on? And could it be bigger than we all think? But most importantly, what is going on in Chinatown right now is absolutely very, very big. I'm your host, Robbie Rubdown, and just like your creepy neighbor, I'm going to rub away all of your worries in this megasode. And more importantly, the info and news we have in this video is absolutely mind-blowing, marriage-ending content that you cannot afford to miss. So you guys new channel, make sure to like, subscribe, tune in as miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. As well, make sure to check out the links pinned in the comment below for some bonuses, as well if you want to earn rewards on your ADA. Absolutely very big, growing massively. And remember, the 3 dedicated devs we have running the pool are keeping it in absolutely tip-top shape. So without any further ado, let's dump on in. Unbelievable. What we're about to get into is going to wet not only your whistle, but your jimmies as well. So as you may be aware, major social media and communication platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp went offline today. I actually don't use Facebook, and I think it's absolute turkey gobble, Facebook, right? But sudden price volatility comes as this happened. You know, it's not very often that we see Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp all go down, and yeah, so that's something that's being looked into, as well as the stock market, I believe, is looking the worst that it's looked since the crash back in March of 2020. Okay, months ago, nearly 20 months ago. We're going to be getting into that in a second. And as well, before we do, because we're going to be getting into Bitcoin price as well, as we're continuing this breakout of this falling wedge that began about a week ago, looking very, very good. Bitcoin itself looking very good. But one of the things that I covered yesterday, besides updated China news, because we are going to be talking about that as well, because there's some very interesting China stuff as well, so many things to get into. But one of the other things that we covered yesterday was the stock market. And when the stock market has gone up in the past, Bitcoin has gone up. And when it's gone down, Bitcoin has gone down. And there's obviously a correlation there. I'm not making this video to tell you there's a correlation. There is. That's just the facts. However, what we've been seeing over the last few days is Bitcoin's been going up as the stocks have been going down. And ultimately, that is what I expect to happen. Will it be happening once and for all by next week? Probably not. But decoupling from the stock market, Bitcoin and crypto from the stock market, is absolutely programmed. I mean, it has to happen. What is the point in having Bitcoin if it would just follow the stock market forever? Obviously, that is not what is long-term going to be the case for Bitcoin. But the question is, when will we start to see a decoupling? And with that being said as well, I just wanted to highlight that Edward Snowden, who absolutely bought the dip back in March of 2020, I did as well, but he tweeted about it. This recent China ban has made Bitcoin stronger, and I absolutely believe that's the case. And in fact, I believe there's a lot of reasons to believe that China is not looking too good. And we're going to be dumping into that in just a second here as well. But Tone Vay's just basically saying, according to Classical TA, that Bitcoin's looking very good here. And he actually predicts seeing a $65,000 Bitcoin towards November of this month. And then that 6-digit Bitcoin by that next month, by December. And that's how quickly these things could move. We could be trading in the $50,000 to $60,000 range for another month or two, and then see Bitcoin absolutely blast to 6 digits just like that in a matter of weeks. So yeah, I mean, I've always said there's plenty of time left for Bitcoin to get bullish here, and I absolutely still think that's the case. But one of the main things I want to talk about here is this, before we jump into the Bitcoin price, shares of Evergrande. So Evergrande is something I talked about a lot about a week and a half ago. It's still something to be paying attention to. Their deadlines were back in September, but they have like a 30-day period to like pay those debts. So people are wondering, well, what happened? Did everything just solve itself? No, there's just like a 30-day period. But the more important thing about this is, besides the fact that Evergrande and Evergrande Property Services were halted today ahead of an announcement of a major transaction, some bigger things here are this, and we need to be paying attention to this. I think this comment here gives a decent understanding of what we could be looking at. There are more Evergrandes, meaning it's not just one property developer and that's it. There are most likely many of them that are in very, very similar boats here. In fact, there is evidence that all of these developers are carbon copies of each other. They've been doing the same thing. So when people look and they think, wow, it's a $300 billion debt that's due. Yeah, so what? It's only one $300 billion debt. Okay, what if there's more? What if there's a dozen of those companies that all have similar, smaller debts or even higher debts than that? Then what? Not to mention, property development is 25% of China's GDP. So what happens to surrounding businesses when the flow of money dries up? Every job can be affected by this, and they could all be absolutely destroyed. And again, I'm not going through this to say this is like a doomsday scenario. I'm just saying I think this is a factor that actually could potentially end up helping cryptocurrency, because the property development in China has absolutely run rampant. Why is that? Because it's been allowed to run rampant. And combining that with inflation, all the raw material prices are going up. It's less profitable to do anything. 90 million plus empty homes. The comment here says, I wonder how much confidence people will have when more developers collapse, not just Evergrande. 20% price drop in homes already. The housing market will free fall. The income to home price ratio makes no sense already. Homes in China are more expensive than in the US despite a tremendous wealth gap. Okay, people in the US make way more relative to people there. However, houses over there are way more expensive than in the US. And I think people in the US would agree that housing prices in the US are also not cheap, especially over the last year. So again, just a little more insight of how this can overlap and affect other things here. If anything, I still think crypto is the best bet. That is why I'm still like basically all in on crypto. Like 95% of my capital is in crypto. Now, with that being said, if a very bad scenario does happen over the next month, with the Chinese real estate market, will it affect crypto? Probably. It's more likely than it won't. However, I still think crypto is one of the best. I think it is the best option here, especially as crypto by itself is looking more bullish than ever. Period. Just it looks so good. But with that, again, as we talked about yesterday, a move back up to like 52 to 53,000 is still in the cards after, we're still in the middle of this breakout. So that's basically exactly what I said when we were breaking out of this falling wedge back at the end of July. Right, I made a video right here just basically saying, yeah, it's about to break out. You can go back and watch it if you want. We did this, we moved up, and I said here, we're still in the middle of a breakout, and we just kept going up. And I think we're in a very similar situation here where Bitcoin is still in the middle of this breakout. Obviously, the breakout target is above 50,000, and we haven't gotten there yet. So that alone is enough to say, well, we're still in the middle of a breakout. But as you can see here, consolidating for a day or two here like we've done is not a bad thing. We see that very often with breakouts. And like I just pointed out here, this continued breaking out for a long time, and you can see many pit stops along the way. So Bitcoin still looking very good there. I think breaking 53, we have a very quick shot to actually heading up to around 60,000 US dollars. We are not there yet. Again, we have not even broken $50,000 again yet since we fell below it back on September 7th. So yeah, we haven't been above 50K in about a month. But yeah, Bitcoin is just continuing to head higher here. Obviously, we're running into this big level of resistance right at about 49.6, right under 50,000. Actually, yeah, we got rejected at 49.5, so right here is just a big level. Breaking 50, though, I think we have a clear shot to continue heading to about 53,000. And if we break that high, then again, I think we have a nice chance to move to 60. Okay, so that's a big level here. So right here, we're in the middle of this. This is the level we want to break, right about 53,000 US dollars for Bitcoin. Again, it's so important that we have flipped this, and hopefully we can just, if we back test it, which we probably will at some point, we can hold this, which, basically holding 48,000 is very important at this point. Okay, you can see how long we consolidated here before we just moved above it, but as well, all the way back here, here, and then here as well. So hopefully this previous resistance now becomes future support. That is what we're waiting on there. And again, this is kind of that last big zone here. Bitcoin can start moving up extremely fast, and I 100% think it will start moving up extremely fast whenever we break about 58,000 US dollars. Even though the all-time high was all the way up at almost 65,000 almost. What I'm saying is breaking 58,000, I think we're going to be slingshotting above that. So basically to say, yes, there is a lot of resistance in this range still, but it's basically about $10,000 more till we are let loose and we can continue to rise here. And the DXY is heading down. I wanted to cover that. Ethereum's just holding. So is ADA. It's nice to see Bitcoin moving up. We want to see Bitcoin kind of take the lead again. But as well, the SPX looks absolutely terrible. This is the 100-day moving average. And every time we've come down to it, we've bounced almost immediately since the crash 20 months ago. And things are starting to look bearish here. We actually just got a we got a bearish cross, 21 going below the 50 here. Last time we got that was about last year at this time, almost exactly a year ago. And it did not amount to much. Will the same thing happen this time? The environment is drastically different than just a year ago. Okay, things are changing so fast right now in finance. Like every other day, there's something else big that's happening. So yeah, we got to watch this, because if this starts plummeting, and let's say Bitcoin doesn't crash, because that's what's expected. If this crashes, everyone's expecting Bitcoin to crash, because that is what has always happened. So we'll have to see. If this does start crashing, will Bitcoin be able to move up, or will it crash with everything else temporarily and then move up, or will everything just crash and that's it? Let's see you guys in the new channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on these absolute time-sensitive alerts. If you're interested in any bonuses or anything like that, make sure to check out the pinned comment below. And as well, if you want to stake your ADA and earn rewards with us, check out the description and the pinned comment below. And without any further ado, that's it for me. Bye-bye.